All right, welcome back to the next section of our textbook project for OST 136. You will see on WD 1-9, this is going to be a photograph, or shouldn't be, it's not a photograph, a diagram of a letter that we are getting ready to compose. So they go ahead and they are showing you what it's going to look like at the end of your project. So that gives you, again, something to compare it to. Okay, so I flipped over to WD 1-10 in my textbook, and the next thing that I want to do is to bring up the document that we were previously working on, because remember that's the quote unquote the actual page that MindTap or Sam is going to want us to submit. So that is where we're going to do our work in. So again, I'm going to navigate to my folder OST 136. I will double click on it, go to this particular class, go to Module 1, and there is my letter. So what I'm going to do is double click on that. And as I double click on that, Word begins to open with the document that we started, that we actually saved. All right, now, if I need to take those off because we did that for a particular reason. All right, I'm going to go back and save it again. See, now that we've been through Save As, and it's been properly named, the only thing that I need to do here is to click the Save button. So now I have saved it again without all of my paragraph marks. Okay, so what I want to do is, it says here we want to insert the date, because whenever you are typing a letter, you're going to need to have the date. So the first thing that I want to do, and we're going to type everything just as it tells us in our instructions. So it says to type F-E-B-R, F-E-B-R. And once you see that, there is a little notation that says press enter to insert the word February. And that's what we want to do. You don't have to do it. You can continue typing, but we're going to do that because it'll show you how to make it a little easier on yourself. So I just pressed enter, and the rest of the word February does pop in. Okay, so now we want to press enter, and the rest of the word February is inserted into the document. Now we want to click the space bar. We want to type the number 1, a comma, space bar, and 2021. All right, and we want to leave a blank paragraph between the date and the line where you're actually going to be typing the inside address. So after we do that, we want to enter twice because we want to enter marks for that. Now, you will see in between each non-printing character, between the Y in February and the number 1, there is a little dot, and that just shows that you have a space there. Okay? Now, what I want you to do from here is we want to also insert the current date as well as the current time by using the Insert Date and Time button in the text group. Okay? And you can do that with a variety of different formats, okay? And it'll update automatically, so if you check the box for it to do so. For typical correspondence, it makes more sense just to deselect that update automatically, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Okay, so we want to continue typing the block style letter. And in a block style letter, the inside address appears below the date with one blank paragraph in between. Now, what I want to show you next here, it says type the following information, pressing enter after each item. Okay, and you'll see here, Carla Zimmerman. All right, so I've typed that in. And you can see I've got a space in between Carla and Zimmerman because of the little dot where I hit the space bar. Then you want to enter and type in Association of Water Quality Engineers. And I always look behind at my typing to make sure I don't have any errors in my typing. You're going to enter there and do 2800 Eagle View Road. Whoops. And again, looking at it to make sure that it's correct. and then Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or PA, and then 15222. All right, is the address there. Now, you want to, it says here that remember to press enter after you type the zip code. So once I have done that, you can see too that our paragraph marks it that I have actually entered, okay, instead of just a blinking cursor. Now, what I want to do is you can see that there is, let's see, you'll default the spacing for now. See, there's too many lines between this. This is supposed to be single spaced right in here, but we're going to deal with that once we finish typing the letter. I would probably do it now, but I kind of want to default to what the book is telling you. All right, so we're going to flip over to the next page, and what we want to do is to end the salutation and the body of the letter. So we did enter one time. I think we're supposed to, after you type the zip code. Okay. All right, and I'm going to enter one more time. All right. So what we want to do is we want to type in Dear Carla and use a colon because it is a business letter, and then press enter to start the new paragraph for the body of the letter. Now what we want to do is type the following sentence, including the period. Enclosed, you will find the sustainability brochures we discussed. Sustainability. All right, and then it wants us to press the space bar, noting that we only want to include one space between sentences. That is something that is actually been hotly contested. I was a court reporter for many years, court reporter and legal and medical transcriptionist, and we always put two spaces between our sentences. But that is not where it is now. So they are telling us to just put one space. So you are just going to hit the space bar one time and then type the next sentence, including the period, which says, thank you for agreeing to distribute them at next month's National Water Quality Conference. All right, period and space. And I always go back and read to make sure I did not make an error in my typing or leave out a word or something like that. All right, that appears to be good for now. Then it's telling us on the quick access toolbar, we want to click the save button, and then Word will save the document in the same location that we specified it earlier. So what we want to do, this is called our quick access toolbar. Yours may actually look different because you can add and remove different little commands here. Okay, but all I want to do is to click save. We've already put it in the right location. We've already got the right name. I just want to save the work that I have so far. So I'm just simply going to click save. All right, the next thing that we're going to look at is typing in a hyperlink. Hyperlinks are used more now than they have been used before. That way you can actually, you'll be looking at a document on the computer and you can click the hyperlink and it will take you directly to that page. People like hyperlinks. They don't want to have to navigate away from where they are and then turn right around to get to another page in order to access something. We have become very spoiled when it's come to that. We just want to click and be taken there, and that's what a hyperlink will do. Okay, so let's do that, and we're going to add another sentence that actually contains an email address that we can use as a hyperlink. All right, so we want to type the space bar. Okay, well, I've already done that. After I did the period after the word conference, you can see from there, in case I have forgotten, all I need, because I've got my paragraph marker on, or the show hide button, you can actually see here that I've already hit the space button. So I don't need to hit that twice because that will count against me. All right, so now we want to type the following sentence, and it says, if you have any questions not covered in the brochures, comma, please contact me at water@portland.cengage.com. And I misspelled Portland. So always go back and check and make sure that you've done that. So now that you've done that, and I did not include the period, so let me make sure that I do that because they told me they wanted it. So there we go. Okay, and then we want to press enter, and when we do, you will see Word will convert that email address to a hyperlink. So it already knows by the way you typed it that it is an email address, and it makes a hyperlink out of that. All right. And the same thing would happen if you press the space bar instead of enter. It would automatically come up like that. Now we want to position the pointer over the hyperlink, and a screen tip will appear. So as you hover over it, you have something that comes up, and it's a screen tip that says mail to, and you want to click Control and the link, and it will take you directly to a place where you can email those folks. All right, so that's all you'll need to do in order to do that. And then with the pointer positioned over the hyperlink, you can also right click, that's pressing the right mouse button. And once you do that, it gives you several suggestions here. You want to edit the hyperlink, you want to open it, you want to copy it, or even remove it. And then there are some other things here that you can do from that. So that gives you other options to do with that particular hyperlink, and that's called a shortcut menu. You can right-click many items in the Word window to display a shortcut menu with commands that are related to what you right-clicked. So since this was a hyperlink that we right-clicked, okay, we get options that are related to hyperlinks. If I come over here and I right-click in Zimmerman's name, you don't see the things that are related to hyperlinks because it recognizes it as not being one. So sometimes those options appear and sometimes they don't. It just depends on what you're clicked on. And you've got to be careful with that as you go through. So if we go and we right-click water, and then what it's telling us in the next section, what it wants us to do, it wants us to remove that hyperlink. Now, I want you to stop and think about something for a moment. We are typing a letter, so this is going to be probably a literal paper letter that's going to go in the United States Postal Service to be mailed to someone. Okay, Carla Zimmerman. So therefore, that hyperlink really doesn't need to be in there, because when they receive that letter, they can't click on a hyperlink because it's written on paper. If this were to be sent via email, then the hyperlink would be useful and beneficial and needed. Okay, but again, since this is a letter, we do not need the hyperlink there. So we're going to remove the hyperlink. Okay, and you can see it goes back to its black colored font instead of the blue. And that is because it's going to be written or typed out and printed in an actual letter. All right, and so it's no longer visible. All right, so what I want to do from here, I want to go back up here and click my Save button on my Quick Access toolbar. And I am going to conclude this section of the instructional video for Textbook Project 1.1, and we will begin with Part 3 next. Thanks a lot.